My name is Hifa Brennan. I'm 53 years old. And the only time I cheated on my husband was the night I tried to save his dream of being a father. People love to say they'd never do certain things. I'd never cheat. I'd never lie about something that big. I never play God with a child's life. I used to say those things too, before the test results, before the years of empty cribs and quiet bedrooms, before a doctor looked at us over the rim of his glasses and changed everything. I grew up on Providence Street in a small Irish town. We weren't wealthy, but the house was always full. Noise, cousins, babies passed from arm to arm. There was always someone pregnant, always a pram in a hallway. As a girl, I thought motherhood was as certain as rain. Then I married Sean. He was my first great love. Broad shoulders, dark hair, a laugh that made strangers turn around in pubs just to see what was funny. He had that old Irish pride, half charm, half armor. He'd say, "When we have our own brood, they'll tear up Providence Street playing football." And I believed him. We bought a small terrace house near where I grew up, painted the smallest bedroom yellow. For later, we said. We were so sure there would be a later. Then the months started sliding by. Those pregnancy tests, they all blur together now. At first, I laughed off the negatives. Practice makes perfect, I joked. We turned it into something light. Wine, laughter, hope. By 6 months, the jokes felt heavy. By a year, they stopped. Every cycle became a countdown. Every bathroom visit felt like walking toward a verdict. I'd sit on the edge of the tub, holding the little stick, bargaining with a God I wasn't even sure I believed in. "Just one," I'd whisper. "Just one child." The clinic came next. White walls, bright lights, magazines stacked neatly for people who couldn't focus enough to read. They tested me first. Bloods, scans, procedures I didn't want to understand. Everything came back normal. Then they tested Sean. He came out of the lab joking about numbers, but his eyes didn't match his voice. 2 weeks later, we sat in a small office. The doctor cleared his throat. "Your husband's sperm count is extremely low," he said. "Functionally 0. A biological pregnancy with his sperm is very unlikely." I remember the clock ticking louder than his words. Sean's hand went rigid in mine. The doctor talked about options, donors, success rates, paperwork. All I heard was, "You dreamed wrong." Sean didn't speak on the drive home. That night, rain streaked the kitchen window as he finally broke. "I don't want some stranger's child in my house," he said. "If the child isn't mine, I don't want to know about it." I tried to reason with him. "It would still be our child," I said. "Love makes a family." His jaw tightened. "If I'm not the father, then I'm what? The lodger?" Something closed in him after that. He stopped talking about names, stopped touching me in bed. Every negative test deepened the silence. Infertility isn't just medical. It's grief for a child who never existed. 2 people in the same house mourning quietly, separately. By our 10th anniversary, we stopped saying when. Then we stopped saying anything. That's when I called Kiaran. He had been Sean's best friend, They grew up together, played football together, fought and forgave like brothers. He stood at our wedding under fairy lights, drunk and smiling. Years earlier, Sean lent him money. Kiara never paid it back. Pride finished the job. They stopped speaking. I found his number in an old address book. My hands shook dialing. We met in a pub 2 towns over. A dark corner. He looked older, thinner, but when he saw me, his face softened. "You look wrecked," he said gently. I told him everything, the clinic, the results, Sean's refusal, the way he disappeared inside himself. Kieran listened without interrupting. "He always wanted kids," he said quietly. "I know," I whispered, "and now he walks past the empty room like it's a grave." Then I said the thing I'd come to say. "I need a donor," I whispered. "Someone I trust. Someone who would walk away." He understood immediately. "No," he said too fast. "It would be once," I said. "Only biology, no love. He'd never know. I'd carry the guilt alone." He laughed, harsh. "You think that makes it small?" Tears spilled down my face. "He's dying of shame," I said. "I'm asking you to save him." We argued softly for hours. He called it madness. He said it would destroy us all. He said he still loved me, and that was exactly why he should refuse. "Please," I whispered. In the end, he didn't say yes. He just didn't say no again. The room afterward could have been anywhere. Neutral walls, thin curtains, no romance, no tenderness. Once, in silence. When it was over, I looked at myself in the mirror. I didn't look wicked. I looked ordinary. I went home and scrubbed my skin raw, then crawled into bed beside my husband, who barely stirred. 2 weeks later, my period was late. When the second line appeared, I slid to the floor. The tiles were freezing. I laughed and sobbed at once. Sean found me there. "What's wrong?" he asked. I handed him the test. He stared, then his face broke open. "A miracle," he kept saying. "A miracle." I buried my face so he wouldn't see the terror in my eyes. The months that followed were the happiest and cruelest of my life. Sean came alive again, painted the nursery himself, talked to my belly every night, called the baby our little fighter. Every time he said "our," something in me flinched. When our son was born, the world narrowed to his weight on my chest. Sean cut the cord, shaking. "You saved me," he whispered. We named him Awen. Kieran disappeared, as promised, moved away. No cards, no calls, life settled. Awen grew clever and stubborn. He played football on Providence Street. Sean watched him sleep at night, tears in his eyes. "If I die tomorrow," he'd whisper, "I did one thing right." I told myself the truth didn't matter. That blood was secondary to love. Then Awen collapsed during a match at 16. It was his heart. Hospital corridors, machines, blood tests. A doctor called us into a small room. Certain markers suggest Mr. Brennan is not Awen's biological father. The words landed like wreckage. Sean went still. I couldn't speak. "I'm so sorry," I whispered. I told him everything. When I finished, he looked hollow. "The only time you cheated," he said, "was to give me the thing I wanted most." Then quietly, "I am his father." He walked out. Ian recovered. Sean stayed for him, always. For me, something never returned. Years have passed. I still live on Providence Street. I still hear footballs hit the wall. Sometimes I watch Sean walk home from the pub. We nod like neighbors. People love to say, "I'd never." All I know is this: I thought I was saving his dream. What I really did was trade one kind of grief for another. And if you ask if I regret it, I would walk into that fire again for my son. But I still don't know if our marriage ever walked out.